You think you know your school, the halls, the faces, the rules, but when the lights go out and the exits are locked, it becomes something else. These are 5 real horror stories that happened in places meant to be safe. Classrooms turned into traps, teachers who weren't what they seemed, and people who came back when they shouldn't have. He had just moved to a new town in Pennsylvania. Junior year, no friends. Lunch alone until he saw a table with just 2 students. Antonio and Bruno, twins. They seemed normal, friendly even. They invited him to hang out that night by the cemetery. He agreed. Later, Bruno texted him, "We're near the lake in the woods. Come meet us." He followed the GPS and walked deep into the trees. Then, footsteps. Quiet at first, then fast. Something grabbed him, fingers pressing into his neck. "Grab him," someone shouted. He broke free and ran until his lungs burned. The next day, he showed the school the bruises on his neck and the messages from Bruno. The twins were expelled, but a week later, he woke up freezing. His bedroom window wide open. There was a ledge just outside. He asked his mom if she'd opened it. She hadn't. When he came back from her room, his door, which had been wide open, was now half shut. He peeked through the gap. Someone was hiding behind the door. He screamed. His dad ran in just in time to see someone leap out the window. The police never found them. The police never found them.
One night, my friends and I hatched a genius plan. We'd sneak into the high school basement through one of the windows that was broken and never fixed. You'd have to hop a short metal gate surrounding the outside staircase leading to the basement. Not that it would stop anyone, but it made it feel more devious. We made sure there weren't any security cars nearby and hopped the gate, crawling through the narrow basement window. Once we were in, we were in. We kind of dispersed to explore. The basement was a mess. Little light, random equipment, and a weird echo made it feel larger than it was. One of my friends in front of me whispered, "Let's go upstairs." So I followed him. He opened the door to the main hallway. Everything was dark. I always thought there were some lights left on at night, but no. Only the exit signs glowing red down the long corridor. We stopped by the bathroom. He walked into one of the stalls. I waited and whispered, "Hurry up." Something felt wrong. Then my phone rang. It was Chris. He asked, "Where the hell did you go?" I said, "Upstairs with either Roland or Brandon." He said, "What? They're with me." And then I heard both Roland and Brandon say hi on speakerphone. My heart sank. I looked toward the stall. Someone was looking over the stall wall at me. I screamed and ran as the door slammed behind me. I tried to run back to the basement in the dark, but it wasn't easy to find. I was panicking. The halls all looked the same. Luckily, I found the basement door and started screaming my friends' names as I ran down the stairs. I screamed, "Go! Go!" And one by one, they climbed onto a bucket and through the small window to escape. I was the first one out, terrified that whatever was in the bathroom was following me. Once we were all outside, I explained everything, still out of breath, but also laughing a little now that I felt safe. We all stood still, looking back at the school building. Everything seemed calm, until we noticed one of the classroom windows. In one of the downstairs windows, we saw someone. Their hands were pressed against the glass. Only part of their face was visible. I said, "That's gotta be him," and Roland shouted for us to get the hell out of there. We ran fast until we were off school property. We tried coming up with explanations later, but none of them made sense. Obviously, we never did anything like that again.
He only needed one more lesson to get an A in band class. The teacher let him make it up during lunch, alone in one of the basement storage rooms. Down there, the lights were bad. The hall was lined with small rooms packed with music stands and decorations. He brought his saxophone, but mostly planned to play on his phone. Then, darkness, total blackout. He tried the switch, nothing. He opened the door with his phone's light and saw a plastic bin being dragged across the hallway. Something heavy, grunting noises, breathing. He shut the door and hid. When it got quiet, he tried to sneak upstairs. But then came the feeling someone else was in the room with him. He flicked his screen on for a second. A man was standing in the corner, 3 feet away. He ran. The man tried to stop him. But he got out. Security searched. Nothing. Just things moved around. No cameras. no answers. The rest of the period, Mr. Nicholson cancelled his flute lesson, and I sat there in the room with him and 5 flute players explaining the whole story in detail. Without cameras in the music hall, there was no way of catching whoever went down there and killed the power for the basement. It seemed that he was trying to steal expensive music equipment. And where, God knows what else. The next day I was called into the dean's office to give my story of what happened. And the rest is history. It happened at a small college lab. 2 students volunteered for a week-long sleep deprivation study. All they had to do was stay awake, monitored on camera. The room was clean and padded. No windows, just a bed, a sink, and cameras in every corner. At first, the students joked around, eating snacks and playing cards. On night 3, the cameras caught one of them staring into the corner for 6 hours, completely silent, eyes wide open, not blinking. The scientists monitoring them noticed something strange, shadows in the feed that didn't match anything in the room. Sometimes they twitched.
The listener.
The feed cut out for exactly 3 minutes. When it came back, both students were awake, standing still, side by side, smiling. The scientists called for security, but by the time help arrived, the room was empty. Except for the message written on the mirror in blood, "He's not in here with us. We're in there with him." They replayed the footage. In the last frame, before the blackout, the camera caught it. A third face, upside down, smiling from the ceiling.
It started when my sister brought home an old yearbook she bought at a thrift store. It was from 1997. She thought it looked cool, retro, creepy. We were flipping through it, laughing at the outdated haircuts and weird senior quotes, until we saw him, a boy in a black hoodie, no name, just there. In the background of a photo he didn't belong in. Then we turned another page. He was there again, different angle, different hallway, same hoodie, same dead stare. We flipped faster. Every few pages, he appeared, always in the background, always looking at the camera like he knew we were watching. My sister laughed it off. "Probably just a joke," she said. But when I turned back to the first page, he wasn't in the photo anymore. We checked again, page after page. He was gone from every spot we first saw him. Then my sister screamed. He was on the last page, but not in a background this time. A close-up, front and center. Right where the senior quote section should have been, there was no quote, just a sentence written in red ink. "I see you too." We slammed the book shut, but when we opened it again, the page was blank. All of them were blank, except the back cover. On the inside of the back cover, in faded ink, "Turn around." I did. And now, I'm not in the mirror anymore, but he is.
When the night gets bright and the stars align, we stir up dreams in cosmic time. A little stardust, a little tune, you're mixing it with the moon.